Question. Sebastian.
So you said, where else would you want to be except for where you're loved? I agree completely. But then you said, but to feel that, to be in relationship with Christ, you need to be in reality. Yet, you've said many examples for yourself, and I think we all have many examples of where we step out of reality, and that's the whole problem, because the books are fear of staying in front of reality. My question has been a big question of mine for a couple of years now. Okay, so I'll just say.
Oh, Sebi, that's right. You're not Sebastian, you're Sebi. That's right, I remember now.
My question is, why do we do what we don't want to do?
Everyone never read chapter 7 of the letter to the Romans? St. Paul? He asked this exact same question. It's beautiful. I recommend that on the first place. But, we don't have to look further than, for an image of this, of St. Peter walking, on a stormy sea. And as long as he's walking towards someone who is credibly promising him life, that's good. But, there are these crashing waves. And he does say, well, that is really scary, And he starts to concentrate on this, and then he starts to sink. But then it's all redeemed. That whole experience is redeemed, because then what does he say? Save me, Lord. And there is a Savior who's asking for salvation. When we go to church, which one of us goes there saying, save us, Lord? And yet, it's the only reason he came. And we don't even ask him. Yes, heal my brother. Yes, help my father get a job. Yes, my mother's so sad. Can't you put someone in her life who will help? Oh yes, we have many things to ask. But who's asking for something that goes radically beyond all that? Because when you're asking for salvation, no one tells anyone else how to save them. When you're asking for salvation, it doesn't matter how someone saves you, just that they
saved you.
Yeah, I have a story about that, but maybe if this is a short question. What's the second question? Do you understand? The question is this. Repeat your question so I can make sure that I'm zeroing in.
Why do we do what we want to do?
Look.
What we don't want to do.
Exactly, because we lose our desire. And what is our desire? Life. But at a certain point, what we want is protection of our treasures. What we want is pleasure instead of pain, because the pain tells us we're gonna die, right? And we forget what we want is the one that promises us life, because it seems too far away. And it is too far away unless someone comes close. Someone comes close. And comes close in a moment, a kairos, a fruitful moment. A fruitful moment. And that's what my work is. It's one long, I work with a lot of drug addicts, transvestites and prostitutes and things like that, who are in those crazy houses and in those, AIDS houses, these guys. And some of them are even, have the whole ideological Archie gay for those who are, from Italy and stuff. They've got it all going. And some of them even say, a priest, no, but I'm there. And I'm glad to be there. And that becomes something, a curiosity for them. And because they see I really love being there, And so far, God has made it so that everyone has finally, says, yeah, let's walk together, And it seems like all that anger that they were expressing towards me all the time up till 20 minutes ago, it's as if it never were. It just disappears as like a cloud. I'm always, it wasn't like we had to work through things, It just one day said, I can trust. And that was the end of it. Does that make sense? Okay, second question. Okay, I got a story. I'll end with that. Okay? I was hoping. So, I mean, I had a lot of joyful things happen to me. And as I said, I really love this job because it makes me afraid. Because you're asked to really go to where people have huge dramas. And you know, what difference can I make to this? Well, none, you know. And if I go in there thinking that I can, you know about this. But, so I don't go to see all these 500 people, just the ones who are in their houses, in their own homes, being taken care of in their own homes. Just the ones who, through one means or another, I'm invited, more or less, or at least the door is open to me. I concentrate on the dying children and their families and the ALS patients, the Lou Gehrig disease patients. But then, of course, it's becoming more and more, it's pretty busy work now, you know. The first 5 or 6 months, I'd go 2 or 3 weeks without being, I was busy in the clinics, and stuff, but I was not being invited into houses, but now it's building up. So this one guy, a physical therapist or a nurse, I can't remember right now, he says, couldn't you come to this house of this one patient that I'm, taking care of? I said, yeah, why? He says, well, he's young, he's 39, he was in a car accident, he's paralyzed from the neck down, and also after the accident when he was in hospital, then he had a hemorrhage and now he's blind, so he's blind and paralyzed from the neck down. And, he's already made plans to go to Switzerland, which is right, 2 steps away. Milan is right next to Switzerland, to go there and be euthanized. He's already, set it up. I said, yeah, okay. He says, but you can't go see him because he wouldn't want to see you. I said, okay. He says, but you can go see the mom. I think she'd like to see you. In fact, she said she would. So I said, okay. So I go to see the mom, and I'm talking with the mom, and she's telling me the whole story. But I realize, I'm with her for about an hour and a half or more, and she is really telling me the whole story. Then after a while, I realized she is talking non-stop because there's no way she wants me to say anything. Because the situation is very bad. I mean, he's full of anger and rage, and who does he take it all out on? On her. She can't take it anymore. She doesn't want him euthanized in theory, but she can't take it anymore. She doesn't want me trying to say something that you shouldn't do this or something like that. So she's talking, right? Now I'm listening, once I realize that she really doesn't want to hear anything that I have to say. In fact, I'm a little bit relieved, Okay, good, because I'm not sure what I have to say, But after a while you start hearing him saying, Ma! Get in here, for this. She says, so I have to go. I said, okay, so go. She says, why don't you come in too? Well, I was hoping you wouldn't say that, but I said, I'm afraid. I'm not saying I go there. I want to be there, and I'm afraid. But it's a beautiful thing, because that means you're in front of something bigger than yourself. And it's only when you're in front of something greater than yourself that something really new can happen. So that's the story I'm about to tell. So I follow her in, but he's blind and he's concentrated on what he wants his mother to do and what they're doing, all this sort of stuff. And there is this full-time health care guy from Chile or Peru. No, he's from Peru, there. But he doesn't know I'm there. I'm just, the minutes go by, it's 15, 20 minutes, this whole thing. It's pretty funny what was going on in sort of a acerbic sort of way. But finally I said, ahem. I said, you have an American in your room. He says, yeah, well, cool, I guess, He was a DJ before. He was a professional DJ. And he was well known, and he used to do a whole season of DJing, and then get the money, and he and his girl was a professional athlete, but she also has her seasons of competition, you know. They used to go for 6 months a year to India and just take drugs, you know, and have a great time. Well, not just take drugs, you know. They also had other things to do together, but, you know, the drugs were a part of that. So I said, I don't know, we said a couple other things, where are you from the States or something like that, and I said, oh, I should also tell you that I'm a priest, you know. And I said, I hope that really doesn't, you know, doesn't really get you up, you know, I hope you're okay with that. He says, well, whatever, I accept anybody, even a priest, you know. I said, good, well, I feel accepted. So I started asking him about his work, you know, with the music and stuff. And I said, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't go to many rock concerts and stuff, but I went to a few. But I was always said, why does the music have to be so loud? It hurts, you know what I was saying to myself. And, you know, in fact, I could sometimes only really hear the music when I put the hands over my ears, and then I can hear the music. Otherwise, I just, you know, I just really can't hear what's going on, you know. I have to sort of cancel out all the distortion that my ears are giving me. So I said, I finally figured out the connection between drugs and loud rock music, you know, when I went with some friends and we got absolutely, you know, we took LSD, we took cocaine, we had mushrooms, we smoked weed, and then we went to the concert, you know, and it was great. I said, I didn't have to put my hand, you know, the music, it just filled me, you know, my cells, it moved me, it was great. I said, everybody's stoned here. Why did I ever think I'm gonna be not stoned, you know? And you know, it didn't hurt at all. It was the Talking Heads, by the way. I saw them in Binghamton, New York, upstate, you know. So, yeah, they were great, you know. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? But in any case, so he thought that was funny. And we started to talk about that, about the relationship between drugs and music and stuff. And but all the time I'm sort of wondering, you know, what do I have to say to this guy? I'm just trying to be where he's at, you know. But all the time I'm noticing the pictures on his walls, which he can't see, but they're there. I'm sure he put them there. And there's these huge, blown up, poster-sized pictures of him and his dog. Or just his dog. Now, on a desk, there's this little picture about this big of him and his girlfriend, who still comes to see him every weekend. But for the rest, it's this dog who has been dead a couple or 3 years, I don't know, something like that. So I'm just thinking about, so I said, well, who is this dog? What's this dog? What's his name? The name of the dog was Alien, in English, Alien, you know. Yeah, really, you know, we're going on about that, and I said, and he was talking about, obviously, this was the major relationship of his entire life, you know, it really was. I mean, he loved that dog, and the dog died, and it was just, you know, this huge thing. And at a certain point, he said, yeah, the dog used to come to me to work, where he did the parties, the DJs, and he used to just sleep at my feet under the console. I said, your dog used to sleep with you at work under the console? Well, you know, most dogs have very sensitive hearing. You know, he must have been in a lot of pain. Maybe, but you know, he really loved being with me. So I started to tell him this story. But I'm telling a story within a story now. Okay, are we ready? It's like 1001 Arabian Nights. You know, I'm telling a story and a story here. One time I had gone to a hospital, and there was this older couple. She had just gotten bad news, you know, she was going to die. And they asked me, you know, she wanted to talk to a priest, and I was sat down. And at one point she says, I just want to know whether my dog was deceased, is going to be in heaven, whether I'm going to see my dog in heaven. I said, yeah, why? He said, well, if he's not there, I don't want to go. And, you know, because I am who I am, I was thinking about all the Thomistic, you know, arguments about, you know, what the soul is, and, you know, and the dogs don't have that kind of soul, and, you know, but Don't worry, you're not a dog. You're not a dog. You're going to heaven. So, I touched I should get a new job, I'm thinking. So off we're going. So, but I did say to her, I just said, well, I guess you're saying that because, you know, no matter how many times you came to your front door, no matter how many times you met that dog was fulfilled and happy and overjoyed because he saw you. Because he saw you. Because you were his everything. Everything. I said it, and her husband is right there, but I decided to go ahead. I said, and the fact is, nobody has ever looked at you like that except your dog, right? And you don't want to go except where somebody can look at you that way. Is that right? She said, yes. And I said, well, and this is still within the story. I said to her, I said, but what if you were to go to a place where everybody who saw you saw the perfected image of God in you? The perfected image of all life, all promise, all love, all goodness, all beauty, all happiness in you. How would they react meeting you? It would be like your dog, but times a million. I said, and what if everyone who you met saw you that way? Would you miss your dog? She said, no. I said, right. So I said to this guy, now we're going out of the story in a story, and now we're going back to this DJ, right? This blind, paralyzed DJ. And I said to him, well, I said, Pietro, who were you for your dog? Who were you for your dog? He says, I was God for him. I said, yeah. And he said it, he said it. I didn't give him that word, but he said it. You were his God. And therefore, even though you brought him to places where he was in pain, in great pain, for him, he was happy to be there because he was with you. He was with you. Do you understand what I'm talking about? And he says, yes, and you need to come back.
Wow.
You know, when you, in those moments, you see what a treasure you carry because of your baptism. That you carry an event of salvation that is the only true question that the human person has. When you live this question, this cry of salvation, which in front of a Savior, you are living in communion with every human heart because this is the truth of every single human heart. You know, that's why I love my work. And I believe this is really the answer to what you're saying. So you all pray for Piero, It's not Pietro, it's Piero. I just remembered. So, because he still has his date, with destiny, but we'll see what happens. Because now it's his mom who has to be. But we'll see, step by step. Step by step.
Piero.
So, thanks for sharing this evening with me, guys.
Great. Thank you so much, Father Vincent. Great to have you here.
Great to be here.
I'm so happy. So this is the last event of our spring program. After the summer, we'll start our fall season with two great events. On Wednesday, September 21st at 7 p.m. in this room, two astronomers, Dr. Luca Mattone and Dr. Massimo Roberto, will make us appreciate the beauty and relevance of a great discovery in astronomy that occurred a few months ago, the gravitational waves.
Right.
Dr. Mattone is particularly equipped to speak about it since he is a member of the team of scientists who made this discovery. The following event is another very special event from many points of view. It's the inaugural Albacete Lecture on Faith and Culture. You should all take that card on the chair with you that explains the event in greater detail. It's going to be on Saturday, October 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Sheen Center. Professor Remy Bragg, the worldwide renowned scholar on Western history and culture at the Sorbonne in Paris, will give that lecture by honoring the memory of our beloved chairman, Monsignor Albacete.
You guys got Remy Bragg?
Yes.
I am jealous!
No, we had Vince Nagle here. Are you kidding? But you can come back for that.
I am thinking about it.
Yeah, October 22nd. October 22nd. Okay. So also, if you want to enroll in our email list, you can write your name at the desk there where Ed was when you came in. All of the events are free of charge. In order to defray the expenses of tonight's event, we invite you to consider a donation. There we have our two lovely volunteers in the doorway. You can just put your donation in there at the exit. So thank you all very much. Have a great weekend. Thank you.